Welcome to the Anarchy Arena podcast and a thrilling conclusion of Chris's evil exes. Today, we cover the big one, the one that everybody agrees is the worst of the bunch. So sit back, relax, and get ready for Dawn of the Evil Exes.
Episode 15, Anarchy Arena Podcast. And as I mentioned at the end of last week's episode, I've had a few questions, comments, concerns, pleas, cries into the ether for the end of this little saga. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys, or whoever else may be listening. Here you have it, the end of the 7 Evil Exes. This is the finale of this 3-part little thing that was only supposed to be one episode, and it became its own little saga.
Well, I love you, Chris.
George Lucas, this shit.
I love you, Chris, but except we're not going to make a shitty prequel.
All right, that's the end of the episode. There's your third episode. I'm just kidding.
But I love you, Chris. Upon further review of your previous dating life, now we're basically at the end of it. Have you learned anything from it?
Damn, that was one of my questions.
Let's see. Well, first, but before I answer that question, I'm going to take a little knowledge I learned from watching debates this past week. Before I answer that question, I'm going to address something you just said. For those of you who don't live in the South, when someone says, I love you, but they're about to say some shit to you, it's kind of like, bless their heart, because usually the next thing that comes out of their mouth is some nasty shit.
That's kind of the truth.
Okay, see, John agrees. So he knew he was about to say some dogged shit, so he prefaced it with, I love you, but,
well,
I don't think that's just a Southern thing, but
we all lived in the South.
Yes.
We all lived in the South, so we know
I
this.
mean, I feel like girls all over the place say, I love you, but.
No, that's just to you, man.
Oh, okay, thanks.
No, God damn it, are you on your phone again?
It buzzed, I looked, I put it down, I didn't even type on it, okay? God, shade already.
Phones and podcasts, dude.
Oh, I'm in a special fucking mood tonight.
Yes, he is. Anyway.
Is this last one? Whew. But yeah, have you learned anything from it?
Have I learned anything? I have learned that apparently my crazy radar is on point. I just choose to ignore it 95% of the time. I have learned that in my younger years, the head on top of my shoulders did very little thinking. And, if any, I'll be the first to admit that. And
you got enough blood only to support one head.
Yep. It's the old Robin Williams show. God gave man enough blood to support a brain and a penis, but not simultaneously.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd say I'm very full aware that my crazy radar works. I just choose to ignore it sometimes. And as I've gotten older, the head on top of my shoulders has started doing more of the thinking, thankfully.
A little bit.
A little bit, for the most part.
A little bit for the most part. Sometimes not, though. Like,
hey, man, everyone's got that moment, okay?
They do.
Everyone has to go back in time occasionally.
They do. And, that's what I love about you. Like, I want to say this before we go on with the last one. I do love Chris. Chris is one of my best friends. It's the reason why we're doing this whole thing together. It's the reason why he deals with my shit. And I don't know, it may seem like I'm mean-spirited toward Chris, which I am a little bit, but it's
also just John's personality.
Yeah, it's just out of my personality. So, like, if anyone ever, if you're listening to this, you're like, God, John really hates these two other people. Understand. If I hated them, I wouldn't speak to them. So I just, I want to say that I love each and every one of you, and I hope I'm not like too much of a dick when it comes to situations like this.
I don't even notice it anymore, man.
Thank you.
You just kind of write it off as part of his base personality. John
all I hear is
has
love.
been described.
Like
John has been described in the past as one of the nicest assholes you'll ever meet.
And I do have the nicest asshole you'll ever see too.
I just am so used to him. I don't know. Like it's not even assholery anymore. It's just John.
Assholery. I like that. We need to take that. Can we trademark that?
Yeah, we're gonna put that on a t-shirt.
That's gonna be the first Anarchy Arena podcast t-shirt. Just big letters across the back of the shirt that just say assholery. Hashtag assholery.
Can we do it on a bathrobe? Like,
you just want to be the dude, don't you?
Well, okay. So, fashion check today for the podcast. I'm sitting here doing this in a bathrobe and underwear. Sitting across from Chris.
One benefit of not doing it with webcams on Twitch anymore.
Yep.
As long as you cover your nipples, it's fine. Like that's all. That's all there is. You can't have presenting nipples, male or female.
See, for the first 11, 12 episodes, John and I weren't in the same room. For those of you that don't know, because we were using separate mics and whatnot, I got a little bit of extra equipment. Now we're able to see each other. Makes my job easier and whatnot as far as the post processing goes. So now I'm watching John tweak his nipple across from me. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that's not something you ever want to see. So be grateful that this is an audio show and not a video one.
Yeah, I've seen John, man, he used to wake up in the morning and just like, yeah, and he just poke them out at you. And it's like, man, damn, dude.
those things could cut cardboard, couldn't they?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, dude. He just slings them out there. It's like, damn, dude.
I mean, when they're out, yeah, but I have any nipples, so it's a little weird for me.
That just means he really likes you.
Yeah, it's basically what it means. It's basically what it means. All right, I think we've danced around this fucking totem pole enough.
All right, here we go. So, the official last entry into the saga that is Chris and his 7 evil exes. Okay. Last time we called it Return of the Living Exes. So, we're recording this the week before Valentine's Day. So, John, do you have a quippy one-liner title for this final episode? Revenge of the Exes?
I was going to say maybe Revenge of the Exes, or I was going to say Dawn of the Exes.
Dawn of the Exes. I feel like that fits more with the first one. Okay,
because this is the very end of it. You're starting to see the sun come up at the very end.
So you're thinking Planet of the Apes, and I was thinking Star Wars.
No, I was thinking Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going with Dawn of the Dead on that one.
Okay. So here we go. Episode 15, part 3 of Chris's 7 evil exes, Dawn of the Exes.
Yeah.
And there's one official name left on this list, and if she doesn't take up the whole conversation, then we do have a bonus entrant who has agreed to be talked about on this show as long as I didn't use her real name. So, that being said, let's get to the official last entrant. Again, we are changing the names of the not-so-innocent to protect them and their current loved ones. So, for the purposes of this next story, we will refer to this last entrant as Amanda.
Amanda.
If you or your significant others figure out who you are to your significant other, we apologize. To you, we don't. And there's a reason for that, and everybody will have their say on it. So, Amanda, let's see where to begin.
Yeah, this is a doozy.
This is a doozy.
Did you meet her on Plenty of Fish or something?
Okay, Cupid.
Okay, Cupid.
That's where I met that one. So when I was living in the apartment, not too long after I got the... Dude, there's so many of them. Like, you have no idea. We talked about this on the first one, that I've got like 4 different fucking apps on my phone. Jeez. There's so fucking many of them. And all of them have ridiculous names and ridiculous, like, differences between them. Like, for instance, Bumble, the women message you first, which means you don't get messages.
Oh. Yeah, basically.
No, or you get the desperate ones.
I can neither confirm nor deny the sentiments of that particular sentence.
That's Chris's brand, though. Like, I love you.
Kinda, maybe, sorta. We're not going to talk about it. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, Cupid. This was back when I was at the apartment, so we're talking roughly 7-ish years ago, give or take.
Was it your first date at WrestleMania party?
Technically, yes. We'd hung out before that, but I did host a WrestleMania party that year, and that was kind of sort of a first date, if you will. We'd hung out once before that. Turns out that she had lived right down the street from me, like literally within walking distance. I walked or biked to her house on numerous occasions. Well, not house, but anyway. Hit it off pretty well when things first started. Obviously pretty easy considering she lived right down the street, made seeing each other relatively easy. When we first met, she had a 2-year-old. I guess she's 8, 9 now.
She's probably like 8 or 9,
8
probably,
or 9,
maybe even 10.
There. Cute kid, highly energetic,
Yes.
but we'll get more into that later.
Cute kid, highly energetic is the politically nice way to put it. There we go.
Yes. Yes, it is. So let's see. Things went relatively well for roughly, I think the first time, and yes, there was a first and a second time. The first time we were together for roughly about 6 months, give or take.
I thought you were closer to a year.
No.
Because this is about the
I thought it
time
was longer.
Because this is about the time me and Jesse got engaged and we're about to get married.
No.
We broke up before y'all got married. I know that. It was
right. That's
months before y'all got married. But now the first time was about 6 months, and I'd gotten in good with her brother and her sister-in-law. So we were hung out with them all the time. Her mom is a fucking abusing the system, drug addict piece of work, and she was trying to get her and her daughter out of that situation, and it had come to a head at one point very early in our relationship. Some shitty shit had happened at her apartment that she was living at with her mom, her grandmother, her uncle, and her kid in a 2-bedroom apartment. And at the time, I was living with my best friend, Rose. Shout out, Rose, if you're listening to the show.
Hi, Rose. Love you.
Given the opportunity, she'll be here in the next few months. Maybe we can get her on the show.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. That girl has some stories to tell because she is a world traveler. That would be a lot of fun.
She's in Greenpeace, right?
Not currently. She was.
Currently. Okay.
But we'll have her talk about that when she's here.
That sounds like a good plan.
So living with my best friend Rose at the time, she was getting ready to move out to live with the guy she was seeing. So I was in a bit of a lurch financially. The girl I was seeing, aka Amanda, was in a bit of a lurch family-wise, and at the time, I was more concerned about the situation of her daughter being in that situation. My brain went, no kid needs to be living in a situation like this. So about, I guess, 2 months into it, I offered for her and her daughter to move into the other room. So they moved in. It was pretty early in the relationship, but things were going well, and I was more concerned about the daughter, so it went from there.
That never ends well.
No, it usually doesn't. And you know what? Now that I think about the timeline of things, I think you guys are right. I think it was closer to a year, come to think of it. Now that I'm remembering the times of year in my head and whatnot.
It was a long
it being longer than that.
Yeah, because them moving in happened end of summer, and the first time breakup happened in February, yeah.
On Valentine's Day.
Yeah, actually on Valentine's Day. Oh boy, yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh yes, we will.
Ironically, I already brought up one of the people involved in that story. Oh wait, no, the second time was Valentine's Day. The first time was October. I remember now.
That's
I've got the
right.
timeline. I've got, because it was right after the Halloween party that we had. Okay, anyway, now that I've got the timeline straight in my old ass fucking brain.
It won't make any time paradoxes.
Yeah, too many time paradoxes. And at that time of my life, so much fucking weed. So it's amazing I could remember any of this shit, to be honest with you. So they moved in and things were relatively hunky-dory for a while. I made it very clear to her and her daughter that I was not dad. That's not my job. Kid already had a dad. I was friend. I was friend that helped take care of her and, disciplined to an extent, but I was not dad. I was very dead set on that.
Which is a bit of a weird stance, I'll say.
Well, it's a respect thing for me. Like, dude was and probably still is kind of a shithead.
I would say so.
Didn't really give two fucks about his kid. But again, I'm not dad. That's not my job. I'm here to be friend and support the mom. So, which came to a head so one of the things that happened was her daughter used to have a really hard time going to bed at night, right? And we'd put her to bed and she'd lay in there and cry for 20 straight minutes. And she would go in and console her, and then I would go in and console her. And after a few months of this, it turned into cries of mommy to one night she cried out, daddy. And I looked at Amanda and I said, not happening. That's not cool for either of you. You need to go in, because if I go in right now, that sends the wrong message. Now, for anyone that knows me, when I'm around kids, first of all, I fucking love kids. I don't have any of my own. I hope to one day, but I fucking love kids. Kids are awesome. My version of discipline, though, does come from growing up with a cop for a dad. So it can be a little tense and a little strict at times. I recognize that. Apparently, that didn't fly too well.
Oh, no, it never does. We'll get to this eventually, but this has been a point of contention with her for years at this point.
In my defense, her version of discipline was, shall we say, what's the proper way to say this?
Vocal.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That works.
Yeah. No.
Billy,
no.
I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to do this close to the mic so everyone can hear. I want you to clap your hand like you're at a golf match. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Very
It was
good,
really
very
hard
good.
for me to figure out how I was going to do that.
And I don't know why I said golf match. Like, it's not fucking tennis or whatever. What the fuck? Anyway, so that level, that's the kind of spanking that she would give her daughter through a diaper. That doesn't do shit.
Well, even like,
Well, I mean, some people are just totally against
poor
spanking
baby, I'm so
altogether.
sorry.
When it
Yeah,
comes to
I'm
kids,
against
it's super touchy. Like,
yeah, I'm against
I'm not
spanking
one of those
myself.
people, for the record. Okay, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their own version of discipline. I get that. I'm not going to tell you should or shouldn't spank your kid. That's entirely up to you. Sometimes I think you need to spank your kid. You're not hurting them. You're not doing anything wrong. You're setting a tone.
I disagree with that.
Okay, why?
Because I was a kid who got spanked. That's why.
So was I.
But yeah, and I didn't like it, and it didn't teach me anything except to fucking hate my dad. So, yeah, no, I'm 100% against spanking. I think that there are better ways to get a kid to, like, you know, the best way to get a kid to follow a rule, or anybody to follow a rule, isn't to admonish them, it's to teach them why the rule exists. Kids are smarter than people think they are. They can learn this stuff. They can learn how to act properly.
My parents spanked me. It wasn't very much, though. My mom figured out real quick, especially being an only child. John will love this. She found out the best way was not spanking. It was take away my stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the best way.
Because I'm an only child. That's all I got is my stuff.
Right.
See, my folks tried that. They tried the whole grounding thing. You know, no, at the time, PlayStation
It's not grounding.
1.
It's emptying my room of everything but a bed.
My room didn't have anything in it but books. Which therein lied the problem for my parents at that age, because if I couldn't go in the living room and play my PlayStation 1, I'm dating myself, or watch something on the VCR, here we go, dating myself again, I would be sent to my room. Well, that didn't work out for my folks because all my books were there, so I just sit in my room and fucking read. I was one of those kids.
Well, it's better. It's better than you reading did more for your growth than any type of discipline.
Probably.
But
anyway, to get back.
Yeah, kind of get back to the point here.
Her version of discipline was roughly non-existent. It was discipline and then immediately coddle, therefore invalidating whatever discipline may have been given.
Yeah. It basically taught her kid that it's okay if you act like a little shit, because even if I get on to you, it's not. I'm not gonna stay. I'm not gonna enforce what I say when I do.
Right.
So the kid knows that they can do whatever the hell they want.
Right. So that got very frustrating to me because I made a point of I don't do the discipline unless I've been given explicit permission in this particular case. That's what I told her. You know, if you're giving me permission, okay, to a certain extent. I'm not going to be the one to spank her. That's your job, but I will do vocal discipline to a certain extent. So that became a bit of a bone of contention for a while. This is right around the time that I got my back injury, too.
Yes, it was.
When I threw up my back so badly that I had a back spasm that knocked the wind out of me. Drove from Nashville down to where we live just so I could get home so she could take me to the ER, which was the most painful 35 minutes of my life on the highway.
Didn't you as a kid have MS or something like that?
No, I've had scoliosis my whole life. A mild case of scoliosis.
Yeah, scoliosis. So
basically what the doctors had told me at the time was my back was fucked up and any injury I did was going to make it worse, so I could either A, learn to live with it, or B, have spinal reconstructive surgery. Guess which one I chose?
Yeah.
Live with it.
You chose
live with it.
Yeah, you chose the not $50,000 option.
Well, it's not so much the money thing. It was
dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
Any spinal surgery is not guaranteed at all. Like, very small percentage of it actually succeeding.
Yeah. So,
anyways, ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, so that happened, and because of that, I was on loads of muscle relaxers and painkillers for a while, which, guys, as some of you might know, happens to decrease your ability to perform, or for that matter, even want to perform because you're so looped up. So that became a bone of contention for her. And that lasted a while because I was on those meds for a while. kind of hard to get your dick up when the muscles inside of it are relaxed because you're on muscle relaxers.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kind of, right?
Like,
What is this thing?
Like when you're on a muscle relax, you're like, I ain't even got like the only way I'm fucking is if you on top the entire time. Like, and that's not a guarantee either. I may fall asleep.
Right. So that became a bone of contention. Fast forward to early fall. We were setting up for the Halloween party we were having everyone come over for, and Halloween party was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember I pulled a recipe off the internet for Klingon blood wine, and John and I got drunk off of blood wine that night.
Shit was good.
Shit was real good.
And I think
special. It's basically hunch punch with Tabasco sauce in it.
And I think didn't Teresa come to that shindig dressed as Harley Quinn?
Oh, was that one?
I think it was that one.
I think it was that one.
Shit.
I know this particular girl, Amanda, was Black Widow.
Yeah.
I remember that. Was I there? Or was I only there
think
for a
you were.
short time?
I think
You were there for a
were
little
there
bit,
for
not
a little
long.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. I barely remember that. God, man. So long
It
ago.
feels like forever ago, right?
I know.
By the way, Teresa, if you ever listen to this, just so you know, you looked really good in that, and I just want to give you a high five, girl.
Oh, she totally pulled off Harley. Yeah.
Oh yes, she did.
That was good shit.
And I'm
Not
sure,
a creep. I'm not trying to be creepy, but
No,
I'm
hot.
sure her husband appreciates it.
Like,
What?
So, shortly after that party, we started having more and more fights, more and more problems. And the only person I could really talk to about it at the time was my best friend, Rose, because it's easier to talk to a woman about problems you're having with your woman because woman brain understands woman brain. Man brain no understand woman brain. I'm 31 and I still don't understand woman brain.
well, we kind of talked about it too every once in a while. We just like the thing is that we're really shitty at texting each other,
Yeah.
and calling each other, so it'd have to be face to face. And
When we lived across town from each other, that wasn't happening all that often.
yeah, it wasn't happening that often.
So,
But we talked about it, and yeah, I tried to give you advice, but I didn't know what to tell you, man.
exactly. And no one really did. Now, I will admit to making a minor error in this case. I tried to discuss something with my best friend as tactfully as I possibly could because I didn't know how to proceed. At that point in my life, and I will be the first person to admit this, at that point in my life, I was a tad on the shallow side. And
A little bit.
A little. They're both like a tad. Yeah, right, you asshole. I hear that little snicker, Billy. I hear it. Don't you try to hide it. I fucking hear it.
He's looking directly into my eyes. He knows exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh,
I'm
I know
like,
exactly what he's thinking.
Back in
Absolutely.
the day, like,
Fuck you. So anyway, back in the day, I was a tad, we'll say a tad more shallow than I currently am. I have gotten much better about it. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
with age comes wisdom.
With age comes wisdom, among other problems. Yes, I said problems. And at this point, Amanda had started to put on a couple, and I was trying to find a way to tactfully and respectfully bring it up to her without offending her, because I didn't want to offend her. I didn't want her to think it was a huge issue. I just wanted her to be aware of it, because from my point of view, she wasn't aware of it, and that kind of was a problem for me at the time.
Yeah, see, this was one of those conversations we had, and you're like, I don't know how to bring it up. And I looked you dead in the eye and I said, you don't. Like, you just understand that now they're comfortable, and you just move on from that.
Right. Which at that point in my life, I did not personally agree with.
Right.
I have since learned better. So I'd been texting my friend Rose about this, trying to get a woman's opinion. You know, how do I bring this up tactfully? How do I broach this subject without offending her? Because that's the last thing I want to do. So fast forward a couple days, she asks to borrow my phone to go pick up her brother from work because her phone was on the fritz at that time. And for whatever reason, bitch decides to go through my phone.
Why you say whatever reason?
Okay. This is no big family secret or anything, but let's just say that she was not very fond of the fact that my best friend was a woman. And let's be honest about it, a rather attractive woman at that. Rose is a gorgeous girl.
Yeah, Rose is hot as fuck.
Amanda was not very happy that my best friend was an attractive woman. She was very jealous of that fact, actually.
Yes, she was. And after multiple conversations with her.
Extremely. So apparently she took it upon herself to go through my phone that night and saw those messages. And that's when things spiraled.
No, they fucking came down like a bomb of Hiroshima, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I think she moved out like the next day to her brother's place.
And to be fair to Amanda and to Chris, at this time I called you an asshole, and you were.
And I will admit that now. And at the time, I think I admitted it to a certain extent. But
you didn't admit it all the way.
No,
I
didn't. I didn't. Now, again, I'll freely admit that.
You 100% deserve the shit you're catching right now. Like,
in defense of babyface me, this isn't current me. This is in defense of babyface me from 6-7 years ago. I was trying to be tactful and respectful, and it blew up in my face.
Like, what did I tell you, though? You just don't talk about it, man. Like,
that's why I didn't. I was trying to talk to my best friend about it and get advice. It just didn't work out that way because some people think it's okay to go through other people's phones when they're suspicious.
First off, it's not. I'm a married man.
Ever.
I don't even go through my wife's phone. And she doesn't go through mine. It's not... As my grandfather used to say, if you reach around your nose long enough, you're going to find a booger. And...
that is the most fucking redneck-ass shit I ever heard.
Dumbest thing I've ever
and you've heard the shit my dad said, and that is some of the most redneck shit
I've ever heard.
Well, my
grandpa literally had a mule and a wagon at one point. That's how he got around town. Anyways, I'm not even joking. I love it. But there's truth in that statement. Is if you're looking for something to be mad about, you're gonna find something to be fucking mad about.
Pretty much.
And she was looking for something to be mad about.
Yes, she
was.
This
is kind of her MO.
Because I don't think at the time she could understand why there were issues. So she went looking for an excuse for there to be issues, a scapegoat, really.
Yes.
And me having a female best friend that I could have open conversations with ended up being that scapegoat. Should I probably have been having that conversation?
No.
Maybe not. Should she have gone through my phone to find said conversation? Definitely not.
I mean, she's also that girl that has to be the center of fucking attention and the center of your world at all costs. And if not, she's pissed.
We'll get to that.
As far as we know, she's still that way.
Oh, she didn't.
Sounds like Billy's got some intel. Okay, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
I mean, I haven't talked to her in
maybe not to her,
but years at this point. But I can imagine, because when I was over there at the last time I was over there with my homie, who doesn't talk to me anymore. Yeah, you fucker, if you're listening to this, I hate
you. Who you are.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, he doesn't talk to anybody, to be real.
Yeah, she's part of the problem. But just being over there, dude, she's the same. She's the same. She has always been the way I imagined her back when you were with her, and everything in between. Nothing's changed.
Well, somehow that doesn't surprise me. So, needless to say, we broke up. She moved into her brother and sister-in-law's place. We didn't talk for a while. Here's where the crazy starts coming back in, though.
Here? I'm sorry.
So this is like a slow. This is like a slow, crazy ramp, and then it dies off when we didn't talk to each other for a couple months, and then it slowly comes back up again. And here's where it starts, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about this and to see if you've ever acted like this in the past. This is right around my birthday, which also happens to be right around her birthday. And I get a text from her. Haven't heard from her in about a month and a half, 2 months at this point. And all it says is, hey, I've got a new dude. And I left some of my sex stuff at your house. Can I come get it?
Yeah, no, yeah. And
because that's not fucking weird.
Yeah.
Why don't you buy new sex stuff?
Yeah, well.
You're lucky I didn't get rid of it, to be honest.
Burn it. Yeah, and funny thing is that during this time, me and my wife are actually friends with this particular ex. We're hanging out behind Chris's back. We're pissed off at Chris because
this is one of the few time periods where John and I were not speaking. That happened sporadically throughout the years.
Yeah, well, the main reason why we weren't speaking is because I told you to drop it and you didn't, and then she found it, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, yeah, exactly what you fucking deserve. You needed this lesson." And I actually liked her at the time. She wasn't as much of a bitch. At least I thought. I just didn't realize she was really good at hiding it.
As the story unfolds.
Yes.
Yeah, there wasn't a winking moment where I was just like, nope, not a fan.
Well, obviously Billy has better judge of character than the two of us.
Well, it's more like.
Well,
Billy,
you have to also remember, I didn't know her when you were with her. Not really.
That's
I met her
true.
once or twice, maybe.
Yeah, I think you were off at the academy.
I only met her
when
when she became with he who shall not be named.
I mean, you can come up with a name for him if you want.
Yeah, he's Voldemort.
Wow.
He doesn't talk to me. I'm not talking about him.
All right, Voldemort it is.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I'm not really that mad at him. I just like if you ever heard this, like fucking with him. But yeah, it wasn't until him though that I really talked to her. That's where most of my knowing of her comes from. Is that
right?
So
during this time, I'm kind of hanging out with her and shit like that, and so is my wife, and they become really good friends. They stayed good friends for a very long time. And then you two got back together.
Right, shortly
for
after,
like 2 months, I think.
Yeah, shortly after this incident of her asking to get her sex stuff back, because apparently she was seeing this dude, and the nickname we had for him was Starface, and the reason for that was because he had a tattoo of a star next to his eye on his face.
Oh, get out!
No, I shit you not,
man. Class, dude. Class.
This is before Post Malone made it cool and shit.
Oh, that's still not
first?
cool.
I don't know.
It's
okay. I was about to say.
I don't fucking
really
know, man.
cool?
I'm old. I don't know shit.
In the music industry, okay, but nothing else.
Well, only Post can do it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Posty pulls it off, but I mean,
yeah, Post, or the game. You know, either one.
Yeah.
Well, the game kind of has reasons, but
I mean, yeah, I was gonna like, there's a little more to it than that.
I'm just gonna sit over here and
you don't know shit about rap.
Pretend I know who these people are.
But you two get back together, and
we do. We get back together.
Does she move back in? She moves back in, right?
Yes and no. So she was staying over relatively frequently. She was still officially living at her brother and sister-in-law's house. And I hadn't brought up her moving back in yet because I didn't think it was quite back to that point yet. Apparently that became a bone of contention.
Yeah.
And so we get to almost a year to, or a couple years to the day now, because this happens on Valentine's Day. So job I was working at the time was not the greatest.
Yeah, I think you were working for Sonic or something.
No, this is what. Well, it's not that the job wasn't the greatest. The pay wasn't the greatest. This is when I just started at the factory, so I wasn't making much.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they had it was
real low when
12?
I first started. Yeah, 12 or 13, somewhere around there. So I wasn't making all that much, and money was tight. So Valentine's Day was not, what I would normally like to do for a significant other. Take them out to dinner, get them a nice gift or something like that. I barely had 2 pennies to rub together to feed myself.
Yeah.
So I did what I could. I got her a small little stuffed plush. I think I got her a little thing of candy, and I got her one singular red rose. Some of you may already know the inherent problem, apparently, with what I just did.
Well, I thought you also gave her a snow globe.
No.
Oh, okay.
Snow globe was no, snow globe wasn't her.
Oh, was it?
No.
Okay. Anyways,
but I gave her stuffed teddy bear, candies, and one singular red rose.
Yeah.
Which apparently was the problem. Because when I handed her these items, do you know the words that came out of her mouth? I would like each of you gentlemen to take a guess.
Really?
I don't know. I don't give girls things. So
of course you don't, Billy.
He gives girls mental diseases.
No comment.
Yeah, I have nothing. My relationships are just all as I had some good ones, but are I don't have the crazy like you do, but they're not as they're bad like yours too. They're short lived. So
I mean, we could definitely do at least an episode on some of Billy's past relationships, because there's one name I can think of that comes to mind. It's the only name I know the story
love
of.
roasting me. Y'all just love roasting me for that one.
No, I know what John's about to say too.
Hey Billy, it's Vivian.
Dude, stop.
Oh wait, that's not the name I was gonna bring up.
See, I really liked her.
That's not the name I was gonna bring up.
You're talking about Rachel?
He's talking
I'm talking about Rooftop.
What?
Yeah.
Rooftop.
Yeah, y'all just love giving me shit for her, man.
Nah, that one I'm actually proud of you for. So
I like giving you shit for it.
Yeah, everyone just likes giving me shit for that. That was good times though.
And they were good times. She was kind of cool to hang out with.
She was cool.
So anyway, I give her these gifts, and the next words out of her mouth after I hand her a teddy bear, a small thing of candy, and one singular red rose. Yes, I'm saying that on purpose, so some of you catch on with what's about to happen. Every girl listening to this, already knows exactly what this girl's about to say.
I'm a married man, and I'm pretty sure I know what she's about to say.
The words out of her mouth are, I bet you would have known what to get Rose for Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone named Rose would totally love roses for Valentine's Day.
She actually hates roses.
Yeah, she does, actually. That's ironic. She completely hates roses.
To be honest, if your name is something, you're probably not going to like the actual thing.
Right. But
like,
Amanda,
if your name is Rose, you're not going to like roses.
Right. Amanda assumed that, he must, he would know what to get her because he got me a rose. I'm like, no, I'm fucking broke. This is all I could afford. You're lucky I was able to get you fucking anything. I took money that I barely had to make sure that I made a gesture today because it was important to me to make said gesture.
Yeah,
And instead you took it and made it about the fact that, yet again, my best friend in the world is a woman. I'm sorry.
Also, the age that you guys were at, not really defending her by any means, but
I know.
Age matters a lot, and they won't see shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we were pretty young. She was still young.
Yes.
You would think.
So, like, they don't care. They don't think finances. They don't think, it's not really a thing that crosses people's minds. So that is true. I mean, as you get older, you kind of get people that would understand it's a tough month or whatever, but not a girl at her age would never, ever consider any of that.
No. And that made it
don't buy me
obvious.
anything at all.
So this turned into a giant blowout, knockdown, drag 'em out argument. And then she comes at me with you also didn't ask me to move back in.
Oh my God.
The fuck? What are you talking about? Well, you should have asked. I'm like, I didn't ask because A, that has to be a discussion. And B, that discussion's not ready to happen yet. We've only been doing this again for 2 months now. You really think I'm just going to let you walk back in after that shit last time?
Yeah, and see, this is when I turned on her. Because I was like, what the fuck? Aggressive. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You've only been dating, again, for 2 months. And yeah, you may have some history, but the way I look at it, if you date someone that you've dated before, all the old shit don't count anymore. It's a new game.
It's a reset.
It's a reset. It should be a reset. And if you can't do a reset going into a relationship with someone you've already dated, you're not going in there honest.
No, you're not.
And you shouldn't have gone in the first fucking place. And that's what how I felt about it. Is that she kind of came in, deceptively. You know what I mean? She was looking for a place to fucking stay, not a...
I think that was the majority of it. She was getting a little fed up staying with her shady brother and her sister-in-law. So I think that was part of it too. But yeah, that all happened.
Each case is a little different, but 2 months?
Yeah, dude.
Regardless, okay, you need a reset. Some resets can be longer than others depending on the situation. But 2 months is probably not long enough.
Yeah, no,
not sure.
Fucking course not.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
So knock down, drag him out, blow him up. We break up again for the second time, and we don't speak for probably a good year at this point.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years until I get a call from John's wife.
Yes.
I get a call from Jessie. Jessie calls me and she says, hey, I've got something kind of awkward, kind of delicate to ask you. I said, okay, sure. At that time, John and Jessie were living with our friend who Billy is now referring to as Voldemort for this episode.
He was more of a Neville Longbottom, let's be real.
Yeah, he really is more of a Neville Longbottom.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
All right, Neville Longbottom is. So they're living with Neville.
That's kind of true.
And Jessie calls me and she's like, so Amanda and Neville have been hanging out a lot, and I think they've got a thing for each other. And yes, John, it is very hard to keep those names straight. I'm watching your faces. I'm really
dying over here.
They've been hanging out a lot, and I think they've got a thing for each other. So I wanted to ask if it was okay with you if I tested the waters and set them up. Now it had been like a year and a half, 2 years at this point. I'm like, Jessie, if they're going to be happy, if Neville is going to be happy, go for it. Maybe she's changed. Yeah, I don't know.
I've got all this written down.
If he's gonna be happy, let him go for it. Not a problem.
Yeah.
So she ends up coming back into. She was still kind of in John and Jesse's life because she was hanging around Neville and whatnot.
She was more in Jesse's life.
More in Jesse's life. But she came back into all of our lives again through this. And at that point, it had been a couple years removed. We were fine. We were able to be civil, even friendly around one another. It was no big deal.
Yeah.
Then we don't date again, for the record. I wasn't stupid to make that mistake.
No, this shit's over with. The relationship is over with.
The rest of this is just bitch going crazy.
Yeah. So this can I have I'm going to take a sip of your editing juice real quick.
I think you should take a sip of your editing juice because a lot of this next part involves the two of you more so than it does me. Matter of fact, why don't you hand me some of that editing juice, please?
Here you go. Some good old Jim Beam.
That's what I call editing juice, everybody. It's coffee and or Jim Beam, sometimes together.
Yes.
He's trying to prepare himself.
I'm really I'm trying to be not as vitriolic as I can be because I really can be.
That's your SAT word for
Thank
the day,
you.
everybody.
Big
Vitriolic.
words.
Go look that one
I'm
up.
glad
And,
I'm glad you caught onto that too.
matter of fact, go look it up, and I want you to tweet us the definition of that word when you hear this episode, so I know you were listening.
Because I have a lot to say about this girl, and none of it is positive. For a lot of fucking reasons, and it's not just because she fucked over one of my best friends and kind of sort of fucked over another one.
Yeah.
Still doing it. In my opinion. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it feels like that. So when Jesse hooks them up, she asked me if I would be cool with it. Because we didn't end on good terms either as friends. And I said, I don't really give a shit. Whatever wants, just let him whatever makes him happy, I'm cool with. So she comes into my life again. And at first she was really cool. And we actually we picked up where we left off. It was a good friendship and we got along very well. And I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny the good times that we had as friends together.
I mean,
because
she was part of our core D&D group for a while.
Right. And she was a pretty good player. Sometimes she would get on my damn nerves because
she was a power player.
Yeah. But she was at that time she was a genuinely good person. And I believe that about her. But as this relationship continues going, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm getting tired of her bullshit. Specifically, the way she treats her kid. Now, again, like I said, I'm not a spanking type of guy. I don't think spanking helps. I don't even think that yelling at your kid really helps. I think teaching your kid what's right and wrong is better than beating it into them or yelling it into them. And this, it got to a point where I was just so tired of having to listen to her try to justify all the lame ass parenting techniques and stuff that it really drove a big, humongous barrier between our friendship to the point where when she would come over, I would hide in my room and just play video games. And when she left, I would come out because I did not want to speak to her. I did not want to be around her. And maybe that's a little bit on my end, but I really don't feel like it's all on my end.
For anyone who's listened to the other two parts of this story, are you seeing a trend with how John deals with other people's shitty girlfriends? He hides away and plays video games. This is what he did to my unicorn too. Well,
yes, because I don't want to fuck up your relationship because I don't like him. But I'm also not going to fucking help your relationship because I don't like him.
That's fair.
You know, I've played therapist to a lot of your girlfriends. You know this and I know this.
Yep.
And this is the reason why I say I love you, Chris, but a lot of these are on you, not them.
That's true.
But that being said,
this
is not one of those cases.
This bitch.
This bitch right here has broken every friendship she's ever had with anybody at any given time over the stupidest fucking things and has never ever tried to repair them. She and my wife were the best of friends for about 4 or 5 years. Texted each other every day, called each other, hell, hung out almost every damn day that they could. They would hang out with each other. My wife would watch her kid. I would watch her kid while they went out to have fun. Jessie was her best friend, and she was Jessie's best friend. And she completely ruined that because my wife had the gall to say at her company picnic that her kid was being a brat and that she needs to stop whining and let's just leave. And to be fair,
I do remember this.
And to be fair, she had every fucking right to say that.
Yes.
Because
it's her company party.
Exactly. It looked bad on her. It's not that it looked bad on Amanda. It looked bad on her. And she was tired of fucking dealing with it.
Some people, like to use those parties for networking and advancement and doing good things for themselves, not look like a fool. It's weird.
Yeah.
Some people don't get that.
And she, one day, my wife texted her and said, hey, how are you? Or something of that nature. And she just went off on her and said, you're nothing but a fucking a leech, just sucking off everyone that you can, trying to get money off them, trying to get favors off them. You are just an abuser who wants to get, he only hangs out with people or treats people with kindness because you want something off of her. First off, anybody that knows my fucking wife in any fucking capacity knows for a fact that is bullshit and has always been bullshit. Jessie will literally give you the shirt off her back just because you're shivering. While you could be in the middle of a fucking dead ass winter with snow and fucking sleet, and Jessie will do that. Jessie would do anything to help you and to make sure that your happiness is first, second to her. She will do anything for any human being in the world that she can. She will give you her last goddamn dollar just so you don't have to go hungry. To call my wife conceited and to say that she is an abuser of her friendships pissed me the fuck off, and I never want to speak to her or ever see her again. Now, I know this may sound like a fucking wrestling promo, and in ways it kind of fucking is.
When John's angry, this is what he does. He goes into wrestling promo mode.
But this is a fucking fact. Every friendship or relationship she's ever had minus one has failed miserably because she has burnt the fucking bridge. She has burnt every friendship she's ever had with anybody. She burned it with Teresa. She burned it with Jessie. She burned it with some of my other friends that, I haven't talked to in years because of her.
Specifically, Neville Longbottom, who she's now married to.
Yes. I don't have any problems with Neville. I love Neville to death, and I would love to hang out with him any fucking time I could. But the problem is that I can't. You know why? Because she has driven a wedge into our friendship. She is a toxic human being. She is toxic to anybody that gets remotely close to her. The fact that my friend has stayed with her as long speaks more about him than her. I fucking hate what she did to my friendships with other people and what she did with my relationship, because it did drive a spike between me and Jessie, because I started hating her way before Jessie ever did. And it made our relationship strained because of that. Because I didn't like her best friend and didn't want her around, it became a problem in our relationship. Luckily, we got over it because we've been together for fucking 12 years at this point. We'll get through almost anything. But the fact that she drove that between me and my fucking wife and has never apologized for it and probably never will apologize for it hurts me on a level of which I will never ever fucking forgive. She is one of 3 people on my list of people that if I never see again will be too goddamn soon.
Ooh, there's a good episode.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that episode.
Which to that point of hurting Jessie and then never apologizing. For the record, Unicorn did the same thing, and then we talked about it where she did come back. It took a little while. It took 1.5 years, but she did come back and apologize and did the right thing and apologize for being a shitty person, shitty friend. Amanda has never done this, and I don't think ever will.
No, because she doesn't see that she's in the wrong.
No,
because you can't admit fault.
So now you've gotten my side of this girl. You've gotten John's side of this girl. Billy, your thoughts, because the person she's married to is somebody that for the longest time you considered a brother.
Yeah, and I always will. John said it the best. I don't really want to get too heated over it because I could. But I'll tell you how I met her, or so the first time I ever hung out with her, because whenever she was with you, I never really hung out with her. I just said hi,
right,
Billy, and then we left. And then so the first time, I'm in the military, and I go to Tennessee to hang out with my boys, right? You know, I was like, what I use my vacay on a lot of the times and stuff. So when I wanted to see my boys, I wanted to see my boys. I got limited time, and it's going to be like another year in between before I come back up. And so, yeah, this is when John was living with them and everything or whatever. They were all together at the time. And well, anyway, so me and were gonna go out to eat. She came over, and we're going out to the car. This is how it started. This is like hour 1 of meeting her again. And,
more like hour 0.
we go out, yeah, like this is like the first 30 minutes of just saying, "Hey, remember me?" Like, and so we go out to the car. He's like, "I'll drive." Okay, I was like, "Okay." And so, so by the way, I'm like over 6 feet tall. Like I'm not gigantic, but like I'm not short, and like she's a tiny little thing. And so naturally, I just go to the front seat because car, 1, is not very big, and 2,
that's your seat.
like, doesn't it make sense that the tall guy sits in the front seat? Isn't that courtesy? Like, anyway, there was no meaning or anything about it on my end. But she looks at me and she says, I'm girlfriend. I sit in the front. I said, excuse me? And she says, I'm the girlfriend. You sit in the back and I sit in the front. I said, oh, we're going to be great friends. First of all, bitch, I was here before you. And second of all, I'll be here long after you, which proved to not be true. But, and I said, I'm going to sit in the front seat and you can get your ass in the back. And she goes, he just like gets in the car and doesn't say anything. I was like, shut up. Because I don't tolerate that shit very well. But that was how we met. And that's about how good our friendship was the entire time I knew her. Never liked her. Didn't care for her. She drove me nuts. Very annoying. Needy. Attention getting. Me. I actually ended up kind of having fun whenever I'd go see him when he started living on his own with her. The kid got along really well. And she was kind of fun. I helped him babysit and everything. And it was a pleasure to meet her. She is an absolute handful.
Yes.
But I don't
That's putting
regret
it mildly.
that. Yeah. I don't regret it. I couldn't. Then again, though, I could see her and leave. You know. But I did like meeting her. I thought she was a cute kid. And there was some fun times, and I do like kids. I know it's weird because I'm not a kid person really, but she was a cool kid, and I had fun. That part never really bothered me. She was annoying at times, but it's just kid annoying. I could look past it, and it wasn't her fault. So, but all in all, man, yeah, there's nothing good I can really say about her. So I'll just leave it on that note. And because of her, I as well lost. I mean, it's not even losing my best friend or what I consider to be blood. I mean, it was she broke the circle.
Yeah.
Me, John, and him. It was me, John, and him. It was me, John. We went and did, and now now we're down one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and
we'll never get it back.
Yeah, it's a part of
back,
it's like missing a part of your fucking body. It's like missing your arm. And yeah,
all because of her.
And I would love to hang around Neville as much as I possibly could, but the problem is that I can't, because our relationship has gotten strained because of his relationship, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm an adult. I can understand. You know, sometimes you just grow apart. That's fine. If that's what happened, cool. But I don't think that's actually what happened. What I think actually,
I would never say it. No,
that's not what happened.
No,
we did not grow apart. We had a crevasse expand in between us and push us away.
Yes. And for that, and I appreciate Billy trying to be level-headed. I can't be level-headed. I'm very much an emotional
because
person.
I mean, it's just going to be you and I just having we're going to be the same way.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But
no need for that.
But it wasn't even just like, she would drive everyone crazy. She never had a friendship that lasted longer than a year, except for Jesse, because she would constantly push them away because they weren't talking about her. And that's ultimately what led to her and Jesse not talking. It wasn't because Jesse was taking fucking money from her. Yeah, she asked her for money a couple of times, but hey, we were all fucking broke and we had to fix her fucking car. I think that's okay between friends. Maybe
or at
that's
least
just
it should
me.
be.
But maybe that's just me, but I happen to think that that's perfectly okay. And Jesse paid her back.
Yes.
And then some. Multiple fucking times. We were there.
And it's also the babysitting.
Yes,
and, and all that. That's all favors, right? That's all just being friends. So.
Yeah, we were helping her raise her kid. I didn't have a fucking problem with it. I actually liked hanging out with her when it was just a because when it's just sorry, I didn't mean to say her fucking name. You can edit this out.
It'll be bleeped. I've already got a couple I've got to bleep.
Okay. When I would hang out with her kid alone, when it was just me and her, great fucking kid, loved her.
Yeah.
But when
she did, yeah.
But when her mom would show up, it instantly went to shit. I don't know if that's indicative of any other fucking factors or not, but I happen to think that sometimes causality does have correlation, and that was painfully fucking obvious to anyone that had to observe this kid. I mean, hell, there are people that like one of my best friends, one of my brothers. And thank God he came into my life when he did, because it was a really rough time. Hunter, if you ever listen to this, I love you, brother. I cannot wait to come to your fucking wedding. I love the girl that you're with, and I love the time we had together.
Yeah, that one was unfortunately shorter lived than it should have been. I think.
Hunter,
he was a good guy.
Hunter, who is quite possibly the most patient guy in the world, got tired of her shit.
To say that this man has the patience of a saint might be offensive to saints. Because his patience just outranks them. It's incredible.
Yeah. So,
didn't she try to go for him at one point?
What?
Didn't she try to go for him at one point?
No, I don't think so. No, this was way after. Meeting Hunter was way after her and Neville got together. So
yes, it was.
That was way after. Way after. Like way after.
way after.
But yeah. How much time we got left here, man?
We got maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, give or take.
3, 4, 5 minutes. Do you want to kind of extend this one and talk about the Great White Buffalo?
Who are you calling the Great White Buffalo?
I'm okay. I'm okay with not.
Well, why are you okay with not, Billy?
I'm okay with not.
I think Billy's still got some pent up feelings.
I'm okay with not.
No. If it's who I think it is, then we'll save that for a shit we don't know what we're going to talk about this week episode.
That'd be kind of fun.
That might be fun. That might be fun.
So let's
have these synopses.
I'm okay with the fact that it was this one because this is the one. This is.
I had a feeling this would take up a whole episode.
Yeah, and there's only a few. All three of us. But really, it's just me. I've always been on the outside, I guess, on a lot of them. But because John, like he said, is the therapist for you.
Yes,
I love that. So John is Chris's crazy girlfriend's therapist.
Yes.
That's what John's role became.
Chris will piss.
I never saw that while it was happening. That's like hindsight's 20. Like I never knew that. Like was going on.
No, Chris would piss him off, and because I'm a night owl, I'm usually the one that's still up.
Yeah,
at like
you and I both always were
2 or 3. So I'm sitting downstairs, and here they come, and I'm like, "You look mad," and then they would tell me what Chris did to piss them off. Now, sometimes was it justified? Hell yes, it was. Love you, dude, but you know this for a fact.
See, you did it again, everybody. Love you, dude, but no, he's right, though. He's right.
Yeah, well, that's both sides, girls and guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, when someone's mad, sometimes it's just in your head. Sometimes it's because you legitimately fucked up.
Look, it's like I said in the first part of these 3 episodes, all men are assholes to a certain extent, and all women are batshit to a certain extent.
Yeah, but...
Oh, it's in there. Yeah.
I think some of these relationships got added a couple of months because of me. So I think you should be either thanking me or damning me. I'm not sure.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Well, maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe they should have not have been extended.
Yeah, some of them shouldn't have. Some of them shouldn't have. But I sold them the extended warranty and they bought it. So,
You sold them the extended?
I was like, no. It's fine. Just give it a couple more months. He'll start working correctly.
Shit.
Did you try turning your boyfriend off and back on again?
Yeah, try turning it on and back off again. Eventually,
extended warranty. Chris, never mind.
Have you updated?
That one gave me so many ideas.
Have you updated your drivers with him? I think that might be your problem.
I think you need to flash your boyfriend BIOS.
Yeah, like see what's going on right now.
Oh, I know how to end tonight's episode. We're going to end tonight's episode with a short little story that Billy is going to literally fall on the floor dying laughing about.
Oh, God.
This is completely unrelated, everybody. So if you're not a tech head, you might not find this funny. But Billy,
I'll leave.
No, I told you this one already.
Oh, okay.
Billy, you're gonna enjoy this. So, get a call from my dad the other day.
Oh God.
Yeah, John's already heard all about this. I get a call from my dad the other day, and he says the computer's not working. The desktop that's in their bedroom, or they've had for like 8 or 10 years at this point. It's a shitty little fucking HP piece of bullshit that my dad doesn't take care of. So I'm like, okay, what do you mean it's not working? He's like, well, it was working just fine for me earlier, and I went to turn it on, and it's just sitting here pinwheeling, waiting for Windows to load, and it just won't load. I've tried turning it off, turning it on, tried power cycling it. I've tried plugging stuff in or unplugging stuff and replugging stuff. It's not doing anything. I said, okay, do me a favor. Mash F12, turn it off, turn it back on, mash F12 a bunch of times until something happens. Billy, you know what I'm trying to accomplish there.
Yes, I know what you're trying to do.
Okay. So can't remember exactly what the error message was, but basically figured out that the singular tiny hard drive, not SSD, hard drive had finally
hard drives still exist today.
Yes, they do. That singular tiny hard drive had finally failed. It refused to load his operating system. Okay. It would not get past that point. So, like, look, there's literally nothing you can do. It's been years in the making. I told you this. I was going to build you a new rig, but now you need a new rig, Dad.
Yeah, well, no, does he? I mean,
okay. Think about this. My dad, love my dad to death. He's in his mid-50s.
But your dad won't know the difference between that computer and a nice fancy new one.
Well, he does now, because now he has a nice fancy-ish new one. It does have RGB fans.
Whoa!
Your dad needs to start streaming,
right?
Ronnie, if you are listening to this, I need you to make a Twitch account. Okay. I will boost your profile. I need to see Ronnie fucking stream.
So the reason for that is because
I gotta meet your dad someday.
Yeah, you really do. The reason for that being is I had offered to build them a new rig. I was like, look, we'll part it out. You send me the money, or you send me the parts. I'll build it, get it shipped up, packed up all nicely, send it up to you guys. You can have it in a week, and it'll save you a couple $100 probably. Dad's like, look, I've got work stuff I got to do. I can't. I would love for you to do that, but I can't wait that long. So help me figure out a pre-built that I can walk into the Best Buy tomorrow and would be okay for me. I'm like, all right, I know. Best Buy, first of all, pre-built second.
Well, there's some good pre-builts.
For a guy who's going to sit around, look at Facebook, do stuff for work, and watch fishing videos on YouTube.
For him, yes, I would say there are some good enough pre-builts.
So we're looking through specs on things, and I'm the techie / gamery guy in me is dying on the inside of the things that they want to get, and I'm trying to push him to get something just a little bit better. So we end up getting him this pre-built iBuyPower rig that Best Buy is selling. It's only got one hard drive in it still, so for Christmas he's getting an SSD to go in there.
Nice.
He's also getting non-RGB fans, because it's ridiculous that my dad has RGB fans and I don't.
No, fuck that. No, you need Ronnie, keep them, please, for the love of God.
Dude, as long as they work, what does it fucking matter?
It's just weird for me. Okay.
No, Ronnie, you keep those damn.
Turn them off.
Huh?
Can he not turn the lights off?
In order to do that, I would have to be there, because of the rest of this story. You'll understand why I would have to physically be there. The graphics card in this rig, Billy, are you ready for this? GT 710.
Whew.
Damn, they still build with those?
Apparently, for beginner rigs, they do. So it's got a GT 710 in it.
Fuck.
How the hell would you do that to a beginner?
Right?
Okay.
I was trying to get him at least a 1650, but they didn't want to spend the money for a 1650.
The 700 series back in the day was really good. The 700 series really changed the game and really opened up for what we know as the 900 series, which was ultimately famous and why you have the graphics cards you have today.
Right. So he picks up this computer, he brings it back to the house, and I told him, text me while you're at work while I'm at work in case you have any questions, and I'll help you out what I can. About 5 minutes before my lunch break, I get a phone call. I'm like, hey, I got 5 minutes to lunch. Let me call you back. Get out to lunch. And he's like, something's wrong with the new computer. I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, it booted up and it started up just fine. And then it told me I needed to restart it so it could finish everything up. And when it did, the monitor won't work anymore. I said, what do you mean the monitor won't work anymore, Dad? The monitor's fine. It's just an old TV. It works just fine. He's like, no, it won't show me anything. The computer's on. Your multicolored lights are spinning and everything, but I'm not getting anything on the monitor. I said, okay, well, did you hooked it up, right? He's like, yeah, I hooked it up. I said, what'd you use to hook it up? He said, the same cable that from the old computer. I said, wait a second. What kind of cable? What color is it, Dad? He said, it's blue.
Oh, God.
I said, okay. So
Oh my God.
Did you hook up the HDMI cable? He's like, no, why would I need that? I still have the blue cable from the old computer. And I'm not realizing it at first. And it took me a second because I take for granted these things that I know. And I realized that he doesn't know them. So I said, okay, did you check the input on the monitor? Yes, the same input I used before. Okay. And then it hit me. Oh, wait. Windows finally just recognized that there's a fucking GT710 in there and switched from the DVI-D port to running off the HDMI port. Dad, you need to plug the HDMI cable into the back of the computer, plug it into the monitor, it'll work just fine. What the fuck do I need an HDMI cable? I've got this little blue cable here. That should work. No, Dad. No, it won't.
I had this similar thing with my parents.
So you know the pain.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Except they didn't go for the VGA. They went for the
No, this was DVI-D.
What's the name? Or DVI, excuse me. Yeah, similar, right?
It's basically mini VGA.
The pronged,
with the two little screws on either side.
With the two little screws, right? Well, my parents for the longest time, were on oh shit, what are they called? The RGB cable, the blue or the yellow, the red, and the white.
Composite cables.
Yeah.
Composite cables, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. They were running that forever. And then they get so my mom and dad they're country, like they live in, they're in the middle of nowhere, no internet, no nothing. So they have to have a DVD player and they buy, the seasons of shows they like, and that's how they watch TV and all that. And well, one of them, I was over there one day and I was like, God, they got this brand new TV and it looked like shit. And it was a good TV. It was a top of the line Sony, more money than I would ever spend on a TV. And I was like, why does this look so bad? My $300 TV is clear. And so I was just like, I started looking and I'm like, oh my God.
They're still using composite cables.
Why are you using these? And my dad's like, why not? I've had it hooked up this way the whole time. I was like, where's the box for the TV? Oh, and then sure enough, they supplied one. And I took the HDMI cable and I was like, can I please? Because my dad won't let me touch nothing. To this day, I'm still the kid. I'm the son, and I can't touch nothing. It's his house, and God damn it, he's going to do what he wants. So I had to ask. I said, can I please plug this in? I plug it in. I was like, damn, doesn't that look better? And then my mom's like, oh, that is so nice. My dad goes, I don't see the difference.
No, he does see the damn difference. He's just stubborn.
But yeah, he's just stubborn. They're still running the HDMI cable to this day. They figured it out. And I was like, first of all, the luxury of an HDMI cable is that you have audio and visual all in one nice, sleek, concealed cable. It's amazing. You don't have three of these weird colors. And if you're colorblind and you switch them up, then it doesn't fucking work. It's amazing. It just works. And then, so anyway, I had a similar experience. So I totally get it.
So needless to say, I told him, I was like, look, you don't have an extra one in the house. Fine. Go out to Walmart. Go get yourself a cheap one for right now just to make sure that I'm right. Then you can go get a better cable. Just go get a $5 HDMI cable while you got a second. Hook it up, and I bet you it'll work. Got a text message 10 minutes later. Computer's working. Thanks. Hey, you, shut up over there. I said your name, Echo, but I didn't mean it. So shut up. Stop listening.
Well, that glides right back into what have we learned along the way of Chris's evil exes. And
you know what I learned?
What'd you learn?
You want to know what
What'd you learn, Billy?
So just from listening to Chris's stories, and not all of them, but majority of them, booty calls don't make girlfriends. There you go.
Yep.
Can't turn a hoe into a house.
Nope. And I finally learned that lesson.
John, that's a good one too.
You know what I've learned, Chris, is that sometimes you either overthink or underthink.
Mostly it's overthink,
but sometimes it's underthink. How your reaction.
Sometimes it seems like you overthink the wrong thing to overthink.
Yeah, no, you focus on the wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
And if I could give you like some advice as someone who's in a very, very long relationship, my advice to you is sometimes you gotta learn when to shut the fuck up and just let them do their thing. They're gonna be mad or whatever it is, just let it go. come back later.
2 things. 1, I watched John learn that lesson live.
Yes.
And 2, John, you're still weird. Your relationship doesn't count.
How is my okay? How am I weird?
You and Jesse just found love right off the bat. Not everyone's made that
I'm
way,
not
okay?
saying that Chris should be made that way. I know that.
I'm joking.
I
I'm
know.
not being
I know.
serious.
But I know that Chris, you do want to be in a relationship with someone for a long time.
Yes,
have
I do.
family, be married.
Hasn't worked out that way yet. Sometimes that's been my fault. Sometimes that's been their fault.
Yeah.
Single for life, baby.
Well, that's your Ed speaking. I'm your super ego over here, trying to.
Yeah, devil horns here.
Yeah.
Stay single, bitch.
but I genuinely want to see you happy in a relationship. I do. As much as I rag on you for your choice of women sometimes, I do want to see you happy. And I think that the best thing you can learn from this, and this is just from my point of view, is that sometimes there's going to be difficulties, there's going to be rocky roads in any relationship. You just got to learn how to get over the speed bumps together and come out of it together.
Amen to that. Hopefully I've learned that lesson.
I think you have. I think
And-
I think us doing these episodes has helped you reflect on it.
I think you're right. So to everybody listening, let's all cross our fingers together and hope that there isn't a part 4 to this.
Oh, I think here's what I want to say, and I'm not gonna bring up any specifics, but I think your dating choices as you've gotten older have gotten a little bit better. Sometimes you made some stupid mistakes, but I think you've gotten better at your dating choices, and I think you've grown as a person. You're not just looking for the next hot piece of ass. You're looking for a caregiver. That's what we all need.
Yes.
That's in a relationship. It's not about how great the sex is. Sex is important, but it's also
not the
about
most important
not
thing.
the most important part.
Correct.
You need a companion. You need somebody that you can experience things together with. And that means experience things together, Chris, not sitting your ass in your fucking house, Chris.
But I like house.
I know you like house, but sometimes you have to create memories.
People
house.
suck. I don't like. My dad has a shirt that says this. It's too people-y outside, and that resonates with me so hard. It is.
That's
too
the point.
people-y
On a
outside.
date, you're not with people.
Two
You're with the
people.
other person, who I assume you like to a certain extent, right?
Yes.
Okay, then block out the other people. It ain't about them. It's about you and her. I'm just saying. Take it from the guy.
that doesn't bother me.
Take it from.
Yeah, the people-y thing doesn't
Yeah,
bother
I don't
me
really.
at
I
all.
love people most of the
I don't
time.
really get that,
Most of the time. Listen, I work in the public.
Y'all
And when you
can't
work in the
see me,
public,
but
you
I'm
see the
giving him
worst.
those wide fuck you. You're a fucking liar eyes right now.
yeah. Even single, I mean, it's kind of weird and depending on where I go, I guess, being alone, eating though, like some people won't eat alone, right? Like at a restaurant or whatever.
Mhm.
That doesn't bother me. I don't give a fuck. I'm proud. I'm like, yeah, bitch. Oh, I got that single bill and all y'all with your families. Yeah, fuck off. I don't know. Just doesn't bother
Going
me.
to a theme park as a single person, amazing.
See,
And cheaper.
yeah, and it also makes it way quicker
Yeah.
because about 2 or 3 hours, you've already ridden every ride, you've done everything you wanted to do, and you're pretty much ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, even as a couple, man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because me and Jesse, like when we were at Universal, we would just go to the front line for anything. But anyways, now we're going on a tangent.
Now we're
here.
on tangents
now,
and
now we're
whatnot.
just being ourselves. Yep.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this
Yep.
up. We hope you guys enjoyed the saga of Chris and his 7 evil exes, all 3 parts of it. Again, I know this was a long time coming, and people have been waiting and waiting for this last part, and now it's happened. So what do we do next? You have to listen next week to find out. So with that, I have been Chris the Metal Barrett,
I am the Extreme Master.
And of course, I am John the Joker.
and we will see you next week on the Anarchy Arena podcast.
That's right. Well, finally, as the big ball of fire in the sky comes up, we have concluded this chapter in Chris's life. And may I personally say that I believe he came out a lot better than I thought he would. Thank you for listening to this episode, and please, if you haven't already, go ahead and follow us at Anarchy Arena Pod, and make sure to follow your host at The Metal Barrett, at Anarchy_Arena, and of course, me, at John_the_Joker.